Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco, California, and we are covering a very short recap of the Star Trek short trek Calypso, and I can see immediately why Netflix or nobody on Earth would want to pay anything for this. Much less millions of dollars. I feel stupid for paying the $9.99 I'm paying a month for the commercial-free CBS All Access. Hello, everybody in the chat. If you are new to our channel, we do live recaps viscerally right after the show ends. And it looks like somebody else is doing one too, and that's okay. And greetings, everybody. This episode was called Calypso, and it was written by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Michael Chabon. The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, a very good book. Highly recommended, actually, if you're a comic book fan. Haven't read anything else by him. Have met him a couple times at Comic-Cons. Perfectly nice guy. I don't know if he was given much, but we can see what these... it has been reported that these short treks were hastily put together and shot in between scenes, possibly. Again, this is reports. This is not fact. I don't know this, but it sure looks like that. Again, we are in an empty ship, and there is no members of Star Trek Discovery in this episode. We meet Quarrel, who is also called Kraft, but neither of those are his real name. He is a soldier who was found on an escape pod, the Star Trek. Oh, I should probably do this first. Sorry, gosh darn it. Spoilers, folks. This is basically for our folks in Europe who aren't even able to watch these things anyway. Believe me, there's not much to spoil. You're not missing anything with this episode. I can start off by saying nothing really happened. So Quarrel or Kraft, or the man with no name, because we don't know his true name and his culture, we find out at the end, is pulled off of an escape pod by the Star Trek Discovery. I don't know how he was taken out of the escape pod. I don't know how his clothes were taken off. There is nobody on the ship. There is only the computer, who is named Zora. So she wakes him up. He stumbles around. She identifies his, he is from Alcor 4. And she identifies him by a Cyclops owl that is tattooed on his back. She didn't think there was any human settlements on this planet, but her records are obviously out of date. We find out that it is 1,000 years. Now, I don't know if it's in the future. They've stated that in the promos and stuff, that it's 1,000 years in the future. They don't really say that in the episode. They just say that the Discovery has been sitting out there for 1,000 years. And it was given orders to stay there. And that's it. And it will not take him back home. Zora will not take him back home, but they start to get to know each other. He's able to eat. The food processor still works. And yeah, so it's just some chit chatty getting to know each other. And it's supposed to be a love story, but it's told through like these quick snips and montages that are just meaningless. They talk about, he basically says that he is a soldier. He's been at war for 10 years. He has a son who is now 11 on Alcor 4, which the Discovery will not take him back home because of the orders. So he accepts this, doesn't try to get around it or anything, just goes, okay, cool. I'm just, and he mentions he'd been on the escape pod for a month, and it was his enemy's escape pod. He was able to get out of there. He got one of his enemy ships and got out of there. So he starts chit-chatting with Zora. She's got a lovely English accent, and apologies for my dogs barking. And they start to flirt a little bit, and they get to know each other. And then Zora shows him a movie, which is Funny Face with Fred Astaire, and we get the full-on hologram again, which I guess we should just be over it at this point. They don't give a crap about canon. Now, I didn't see any overt canon violations other than maybe the hologram. There probably is some stuff I missed. I've only seen it once. And they have a little dancing scene. The computer puts a holographic image of herself, and she dances with Kraft. and they have a romantic scene, and they are about to kiss, and then Kraft has a little flashback about his wife and kid back home, and he says, "No, I can't do it," and he goes to bed. And then for some reason, Zora's like, "Okay, it's time for you to go. You can go now," and basically lets him go back to Alcor 4. And he does the speech at the end, which is hilarious. He's all, because we had these quick montages, we barely got to know this guy. The acting wasn't that great. Actually, the girl voicing the AI was much better. But he gives a speech like, "You showed me how to be a man. I want to thank you for everything. I hardly knew you." And then the funniest scene, for me anyway, was she has done all these nice things for him, kept, got him, patched him up from the war, gave him clothes. And while he's eating, he's all, "You done all these nice things for you. Is there anything, is there anything nice you'd like me to do for you?" And she's all, "What did you have in mind?" And I don't know about any of you else out there who watched the episode, but if you ever saw Blazing Saddles, I got to do it. I thought he was going to say, "Excuse me while I whip this out," but he didn't. What he did was did the little dance number with her. So yeah, so she lets him go. That's it. It's a nothing episode. Nothing happened. And the worst part about this is you have to wait a month for these damn things in between episodes. And the only thing I can see that is related to what's going to happen in season 2 is maybe this is a way you get rid of Discovery. Maybe Discovery, they use the spore drive one more time or something, and they shot it in in the future or the past or wherever, and it had been waiting there for 1,000 years doing some timey-wimey stuff. They've done this a ton in Doctor Who, where the TARDIS would be waiting. So actually, they just did an episode where the TARDIS was waiting somewhere for 1,000 years, waiting for the Doctor. And maybe that's how it ties into the series. They said all of these tie into season 2 somehow. I don't really care that much, to be honest with you. Again, it was a complete nothing episode, a waste of time, waste of money. And yeah, these look like what they are: hastily put together things to try to for a quick cash grab. So when I see something like this, it leads me to believe the reports that we have seen. We've gotten a lot of clapback on that, by the way, on Twitter and in DMs and in Facebook groups, and I will share that on our Friday night live stream. We do a live stream every Friday night at 8 p.m. Bob, Chris Persia, Mako, Tickaman Blade, Grace B, how are you? Kato Roan, hail Kato Roan, Mage Graver, Matthew Matson, your God is nowhere, $9.99 you'll never ever get back. No, and the 18 minutes and 22 seconds I'll never get back. So halfway through, if it was supposed to be a romantic story where we feel like these people are connecting, you can actually do that in 18 minutes. Many things have. It just didn't happen. There was too much exposition. There was too much walking down hallways and stuff that they didn't need to do. And yeah, how the hell did she get him? She be the computer's the she get him out of the ship? How did she get his clothes off? She's an AI. She has no body. So did she just tractor beam his body, or beam him from the ship and then beam his clothes off? And which I guess you can do in Discovery, because they just beam down the hall when they want to, which you're not supposed to do. All right. The Trek won't arrive in the bay tonight, I guess. No. It is bad. Well, I mean, like, I'm not a full-on Trekkie, so I didn't see, besides the normal gross violations of canon, and a ship that's derelict for 1,000 years, looking pretty clean. I didn't see anything on first take, but I'm sure I missed something. I can claim it. I actually can claim it as a business deduction, believe it or not. Corral 4. It's did I say Corral or Alcor 4? Alcor 4. My bad if I said Corral 4. I'm going off my really shitty notes, which my notes were, he walks down hall, he talks to AI, he puts on clothes, they dance. I mean, that was pretty much it. So I can see the executives at Netflix watching the 4 shorts and just going, "What the fuck are you trying to sell us?" uh, was the hologram a Smeg head? No, it was not. Smeg head. No, no, it was not. Um, no, yes. So no allusions to what was going on, and I didn't care. I just didn't care. 1,000 years in the future, the Federation has time ships. They wouldn't need the incredibly outdated Discovery, says Nyla Shadow. Uh, again, I'm not like super up to date on my future Trek lore, so I will take your word for it. But you would think, based on what they have right now, they probably wouldn't need ships of any kind. They probably have ascended through, they're probably super intelligent shades of the color blue in 1,000 years. Who knows? Um, the Smeghead would have been a way more interesting, absolutely more interesting. God. So Star Trek Discovery fans are a little mad at us, and honestly, this is probably not the channel. I hate to tell people to stay away from the channel. Here's what you do. Just don't listen to our Star Trek Discovery videos if you like the show, because we do shower love over most other shows. We're big Expanse fans here and stuff. This show, the reason I have such a bee in my bonnet about this show is for the Trek fans, and we've waited so long. And whether you loved or hated Enterprise, and I was okay with Enterprise, it still feels like just a long time since we've had good Trek. And the people they've put in charge, it's frustrating because they've put people in charge who have to go to canon camp. The person who wrote this episode is a Pulitzer Prize winning author, but had to go to canon camp. That's why don't you just hire Star Trek writers? There's tons of them out there. There's people in our chat who probably have more Star Trek knowledge than these writers. As a matter of fact, I know you guys do. Anti-Trekker, Trek Yards, Doomcock. These are all people with tons of Star Trek knowledge who I know a couple of them are writers and talented writers. Get them. And you know what? There's Trek writers out there who would write probably for like scale, whatever scale is like the lowest amount of price, just out of love. I was watching The Ghost Ship. It's some fan Trek made thing. It just showed up on my YouTube, and it's about a small crew, a descendant of Archer, have to go to a ship where all 500 crew members died, and they have to get the ship back to the Federation, and they beam down, and there's some virus or something that makes basically all the dead bodies like rise like zombies. And it was done in the original Trek timeline, and they modernized the technology, but they used the same. The sets looked the same as the original series, and it looked great. It looked great. The acting was so. Hey, it was a fan made thing out of love. It was totally fucking cool. Go watch that. That's available for free on YouTube. You don't have to pay $5.99 or whatever to see it. Support the fan Trek stuff right now because it's the only good stuff we're getting. Again, it was called The Ghost Ship. I don't know who made it. Like I said, it's a fan made thing, but I enjoyed it. I gave it a thumbs up, and it was shown to be made with a lot of love. How's it going, CD Horde? And that's the main beef I have with CBS right now is how they have treated the Trek fans making the fan project. It's you want to use the word deplorable. I think it's very applicable in this situation that CBS has been deplorable to the Star Trek fans, the Strek fans, whatever. And then the Drekkies come out and come and attack us and make wild claims on Facebook group, which I will talk about Friday night. It's pretty funny, actually. You know what? I was really I was proud to be named in some of these things. So that's cool. We also, in those Facebook groups, though, we had a lot of backers, which was really cool. I've got a lot of new friends in there. What's up, Tim F? How's it going? Grace B says, I agree that there's lots of good fan Trek out there, like Star Trek Horizon. Yes, I will check that out. I have not seen that, Grace B. Thank you so much. And Grace, I did get your email. I will return it. Sorry it's taken so long. I'm very slow on emails, but I saw your email. Thank you for taking the time to send it to me, and I will get back to you on that. Again, we're going to go for a few more minutes. This one is going to be short. And the original series cartoon is great. I love it. Star Trek Continues Mako is top notch. It is so freaking cool. It is so cool. I love it. Yeah, there's still good Star Trek out there. It's just not being produced by CBS. I did reach out to my source, my one source today, to try to verify some of the claims. Just to catch you up real quick, Midnight's Edge. Well, Doomcock reported first, then Midnight's Edge. Doomcock reported it as rumors. Midnight's Edge is reporting it on their site. I am not stating any of this as a fact. This is just reportedly that Netflix paid a reduced price for season 2. And there's some people there. Screen Rant has rebutted that, saying that is not true. I reached out to my source to try to verify this. There was also some claims that CBS is aware of our videos and they've watched not ours, but some other YouTubers' videos. And I reached out to my source to see if they verify this, and I lost my source. You won't answer any more questions. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but I mean, we're still friends and everything, but he just said, I ain't answering any more questions. So I don't know what that means. And I asked him, well, what does this mean? He's all, I'm not asking any more questions. I'm not answering any more questions. So I didn't want to press this person, and the person's been very nice. So there you go. You win some, you lose some. Star Trek Continues is fan Trek series of 11 episodes set in the original series universe. It is really well done, says Grace B. That is brilliant. Phase 2 was good. The fan production. And this ain't Star Trek Triple X, says Case. And that probably has. I haven't seen Star Trek Triple X, but I'm assuming it's porno, and it probably is written better. I will guess that. They're probably cracking down on leaks, says Nyla Shadow. That is my guess. My guess is I will speculate that there might be some truth to some of this stuff, and the heat is on. As Glenn Fry used to say. Rest in peace, Glenn Fry. People need Star Trek now more than ever. Yeah, I think and we have the Orville. So we have the Orville. That's good, and we got the Expanse. World Enough in Time by Mark Zickery was awesome. Yes, and then Stephen Moffat stole that title for a Doctor Who episode. It's something like that title, Grace B. I don't know if it's exactly that title. And I'm sure that's a saying from somewhere else, so he probably didn't steal it. He probably just used it as well. But Mark Zickery used it first. He also wrote The Twilight Zone Companion, was one of the best companion books I've ever read. I cannot confirm or deny that you are exactly correct. This is Mike Cedar. Exactly. Let's get to a couple more chances. Screen Rant just finally admitted Netflix paid for season 1 after denying it for a while. A Screen Rant ran defense for Star Trek allegedly because that article, which was based on a blog from Rediff, was released the morning after Midnight's Edge released their video. Midnight's Edge has not officially, that I have seen, followed up on it. I think they just kind of mic dropped and are waiting. They're doing another video. They're doing another video on the finances and stuff. Agreed. Star Trek Continues. Star Trek Continues does classic better than Discovery. Yes. The last thing I noticed was that he's wearing a disco shirt, and they are trying really hard to rebrand STD to disco. Too late. Canon, make the soup. STD is what you are known as. You could try that disco stuff all day long. 21 likes now. Hey, thanks everybody. Yeah, we had for a short one, we have a lot of people watching, and then Anti-Trekker went on the same time I did, but like I said, I love Anti-Trekker. That's cool. I hope we both do very well with our videos. And I'd love to have him on the show. TOS was made on a shoestring budget. It sure was. I don't know what the exact budget was, but that's what I heard, Mako. Didn't CBS turn down McFarlane for a Star Trek show? That's why he did the Orville. That's what I heard Tyon Ranger. I did hear that. And don't forget to lick that button. Disco sucks anyway. The music, that is, says Shogun Orta. Yeah, that's why. Where are the Death Before Disco shirts? Maybe I should work on that. Think I should make some Death Before Disco shirts? I don't know. They could be taken the wrong way, though. Uh, Yeah. So, yes. And I am going to end this one here because I really can't make a recap of a short episode much longer than the actual episode itself. Hey, how's it going? Thank you, Shogun Orta, Kato Roan Apple, the great Apple Crow, Mike Cedar, Tekkaman Blade, or is it still Tekkaman Blade? Or yeah, I think it was Tekkaman Blade. And you said you couldn't change your spelling. Grace B, Mako, of course, our wrenches. Bob, how are you, Bob? Beyond News, Star Trek Continues is the search for Star Trek Continues channel to watch. There you go. Nihilist Shadow, Matthew Matson, the great Matthew Matson, Tim F, and B Cluette. How are you? How are you? How's it going? Maybe it's an alien AI. Yeah, I don't remember the Star Trek Discovery computer, so I don't know if that's the same voice or not. It's not committed to memory. Okay. And James Miller, he spent more time watching an old movie than figuring out what happened to the crew or where his planet was or how he got there. Right? Yeah, I guess I failed to point out that during this entire 18-minute and 22-second episode, he's worried a little bit about his son, but he's not worried really that much of getting back home. Once she says, I can't get you back home, he's all, why not? She's all, because I can't. He's all, okay. And then, yeah, he's not worried about a soldier. One thing soldiers worry about is their fellow soldiers. Okay, that's the one thing that's big in military of combat throughout the millennia is camaraderie of soldiers. So maybe he's the last one alive. We don't know. He didn't look too broken up. Yeah, the acting was really bad. Really, really bad. Okay, so please like, share, and subscribe. We do everything live, viscerally, right after the show airs. We will be covering the next short trek. We will be covering Doctor Who this Sunday. Please go to nerdrotic.com, and on the right-hand side, you will see our live schedule. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/nerdrotic, where we give you stuff and exclusive content. You can join for as little as $1. And you can also, check out the site. You get stuff back. We have the best chat on YouTube. Please join us for future live recaps because we have a bunch of good people in here that I adore. So thank you once again, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Cheers.